this is our DIY oasis pool project, plunge pond, whatever you want to call it. We've been working on it for a few months now. We just did this retaining wall here. On the previous video, we've got the retaining wall back there. We've got the natural limestone ledge that we exposed there. We've got that creek where we're doing some rock and erosion control in this section. And today we're doing some experimentation with the 304 and how we're actually going to build this pool wall. So obviously this is going to be the actual pool section itself. We're going to dig out a little bit underneath that rock shelf, stack a wall in there. There's going to be a waterfall, comes out of the filter. Waterfall feature comes off of this into the pond. Pool, I still don't know what I want to call it. There's going to be a liner in this when it's all said and done. So the initial plan was we were going to dig down. We were going to be on top of some shale, which is what that is there. And then we were just going to lay some stone, a little bit of concrete, and start stacking some split face block. And I'll show you what I mean by that here in a second, because I got some explaining to do on that. This is much softer than I expected down below here. So I got to find a solution. I'm 99% positive the solution is just going to be a bunch of stone and a bunch of packing to get a decent subgrade for the wall. It's either that or we make the pool 10 foot deep and we just keep digging until we hit something we like, but I really am not in the mood to do that. So we're looking at about a 48-inch depth of the water. It's a good wading depth, deep enough to get in and cool off. The way it's gonna work, the liner will come over this. We will lay this type of limestone then on top of that liner, and that'll be kind of the top cap. That's what we're thinking. So basically 4 feet down from this, but then we need some depth for a little bit of stone anyway. Well, let's just go 52. So I'm thinking we're just gonna dig to that elevation, lay stone in, and just keep packing that stone in until it feels solid enough for the wall that we're trying to build. We're not building a house on top of this thing, you know? Slow beep is low, solid tone is perfect, fast beep is high. Solid or slow is going to be fine for subgrade. So we're golden on grade, and honestly all of this is that nice hard mudstone, shale, whatever you want to call it. The only soft spot is right there, and I think that's from when I was doing the initial excavation. I just overdug and that filled in with silt. We're just going to pack a bunch of stone in it and call it good, but everything else actually looks nice. You know, do the right thing. We're just going to bury the problem. Next step, we're just shoving all this downhill, making a level spot out of what we got. That's a walnut tree there. If it was a maple, I'd just get rid of it. Trees don't normally survive when you bury them, but I'm of the mindset, well, let's just see what happens. I've got an idea. I don't know if it's gonna work, but it's what I've got. actually not too bad. 2, 3, 4 of those will be just about right, and then we could pack her in. But we do have an issue we're gonna have to address. I thought to myself, why do I smell gas? I shouldn't smell gas right now. And then I took a peek under here. You see this line right here that comes off the fuel rail? It would appear it's got a pinhole in it, and we're just puking gas out while we're driving. So that seems like a fire hazard. I'm only going to show you once, but I'll kick the pump on so you can see it. Yeah, okay. All right, okay. Okay, enough of that. Atomized fuel on hot exhaust. That doesn't. New hose clamp. I think that's enough to test out the concept. By the way, if you've got one of these Rangers and you're tired of these latches always gumming up and having problems, because I was, 12 bucks a pair of gate latches, and they do phenomenal. this is what we're going to be using to make this wall. This is called split face block. They call it split face block because when they make it, they form one big block, and then they've got a break that breaks it, splits it open, and you got a split face. I know, it's wild. Why are you using this, Mike? I got it for free. Somewhere between 400 and 500 of these blocks, I got them for free. They were sitting on a pallet. They were listed for free on Facebook Marketplace. I showed up with a truck and a trailer. They set them on the trailer and I left. And that's the main reason. You'll see the stacking pattern here in a second once we get down there. I'm not 100% sure it's going to work the way I want, but I think it's going to work just fine. Took me less than 10 minutes to move that whole pallet with very minimal effort. That is going to be the ticket for that technique for sure. Those aren't fragile like the limestone, so we can dump those on top of each other. They're not going to break when we do that. I mean, one or two might, but we did that to limestone, they'd all crack. Suppose it's time for our favorite step. It's time to get the old concrete mixer all mixed up. Nope. Fired up, and show you how we're going to do this. I grabbed some cattle panel we had laying around left over from another project. Oh yeah. Yep, that's the cattle panel, I know. Anyway, I'm going to cut it up in strips so we can lay it into this concrete. Kind of a wild concept. Aside from the Saccrete, the mortar, and the landscape adhesive, everything else in this project, the limestone, the split face block, and a lot of the steel and rebar we've been using has all just been scrap stuff I've had laying around. I feel like utilizing that mini excavator for the concrete would be smart too. If I can reach from over there, if I can park where I was at, that'll work for that. Let's get these pieces. Let's get these pieces cut and staged. So we're ready there. I have to mix them wetter than that though, probably. So this is supposed to serve as two things for us. Let me find a good place to put you. Yeah, good enough, huh? This is supposed to be the leveler for the split face first row, and it's also supposed to act as what I believe they call the collar. Go ahead and throw some wire in. Basically to help keep that bottom row all tucked and tied together. We'll take this board and this level, and we're just gonna work our way around, flatten this out, level it up a little bit. So we're gonna get this switched around, and then what we're gonna do to get it cleaned out, we're just gonna dig some dirt. Get the laser moved, dig a little bit more of that stuff out, and And that should kind of scrub the bucket clean for us. Certainly not going to hurt us to sit here and go ahead and take some more of this out while that sets up just a little bit more. Plus, if it rains, we can dig a section a little deeper so it's got a place to sump to. All right, so here's the idea. We're not getting crazy fancy with any of this. We're just taking the block like so. We're gonna eyeball a straight line because that's the best practice. And we're just gonna set it right there. Split face side down like that. I need my little torpedo level for this way. But we're just gonna lay that first course in just like that. Work it into the concrete a little bit. I think that'll work okay. We're not worried about perfectly straight walls, none of that, you know what I mean? We're not worried about any of it, just getting it laid together that it can hold back this material, which doesn't take a lot to hold back because that shell pretty much holds itself. It's just a little loose, flaky stuff like that that's gonna fall off over time. So it's not like we're holding back a wall of sand or something like that. I mean, I don't think it really matters. Match that angle a little bit, overlap some. Exception that I'm forgetting here is we're going to scoot everything back about 1/4 inch per course. Better than I expected, though. So that's going to work okay. There's just one big thing I got to watch out, and something I was fighting on there. So with these split face, whenever they split them, you end up, some of them kind of dish in like that. We'll call them shy. And some of them come out like that. Obviously the relief of the other half. We'll call these proud. What I wasn't paying attention to is I had some of these blocks that are a little proud like that laying down, and then I tried to lay
proud ones on top of it, and it was just fighting itself, and it was kind of a pain in the butt. So what I did on this course is everything on that course is the shy block where it's dished in, and then that way whenever we go to the next course we can do the proud ones and flip them down in there, and it should fit way nicer with not as much fight. At least that's what I'm telling myself, because I really need this system to work, because I'm kind of committed at this point. It'll be fine. Everything's fine. Let's do the excavator a little bit more. So as far as experimentation of how we're gonna do the pool wall, I think this is gonna work great. A little bit lower spot there, so hopefully if it does rain tonight, it'll kind of settle in there, and then hopefully that wall does its job and no more creek water rushing in. So it'll just be actual rainwater. Everything else is kind of diverted around as far as that hill goes, so that's good. In case you forgot, I'll remind you real quick. So here's the layout. Okay, we got that. Where we started digging into the wall, it'll undercut that overhang rock right there for the waterfall feature. And then it'll go back pretty much to where that is, over, almost to where the other camera tripod is, and then over to here. Over and over, and then stairs here into it. That's what we're looking like. This thing is gonna be awesome. There's not gonna be another one like it. Next video, great news. My seal kits for the backhoe came in today. So next video should hopefully be on the 555, getting the steering all buttoned up so we can actually move pallets without going through so much fluid. That's kind of crucial, and I'm kind of tired of losing all that fluid. So that should be the next video, and then after that we should be right back on this thing, and then maybe some world headquarters sprinkled in there depending on what partnerships we've got for the world headquarters for September, which as of now is 2. So we'll see how that all fits in. Can't thank you guys enough for watching. Hope you're enjoying the channel. I hope you're enjoying this build. Oh man, labor of love or something like that.